Hey, what's up? It's a baseball show, and I got some baseball guys in this show. I'm looking forward to talking some baseball. A lot of unders going on in baseball. This is not betting. This is DFS, but we do look at lines, don't we, boys? I think it was 13-1-1 to the under. JT Hayes and I having a conversation on balls are just dying on the warning track. Gary is here wearing his World Championship Braves 4th of July jersey. JT Hayes is here wearing a members only jacket. And of course, it is a members only Masters jacket. And then DC is here. Usually you wear an opposite sport hat. Usually you wear Rockies during the regular season in football, and then you wear Chiefs here. What's going on today with the wardrobe, DC?
Yeah, the hat isn't determined by the sport. It's determined by the rest of the outfit. You know, it's got all tied together.
Yeah. So Target Henley plus Colorado Rockies hat.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. You got it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. All right. No more fucking around. Let's get into this slate. It is a busy slate today. Our first full one. I'm really excited about seeing what happens here with a couple of really good young pitchers on the mound. And guys, I guess we could just start with the pitching. Gary, 100 green. I wonder what you're doing because we got a lot of good young pitchers today.
Yeah, there's a lot of high-priced guys that I think they're clearly overpriced here. I think Hunter Green's one of them. I'm not paying $9K for him against the Braves. Freddie Peralta, 10.2. I'm showing some ownership on him. No, thank you. I know it's the Cubs, but I'm going to pass on that. Marcus Stroman, 9.9. No, thank you. Ian Anderson. So he had a blister or something on his toe in the last start. He only pitched like 3 innings. I don't think he's going to go more than like 4 to maybe 5 here. I think 4 innings is probably the more likely outcome. I'm definitely not going to pay that. Cal Quantrill was the luckiest pitcher in the league last year at 9.4, and the most favorable hitting conditions on the slate today. I definitely will not have him. So this upper tier is going to be a complete fade for me over 9K.
All right. What do you got here, JT Hayes? Again, some nice, good young pitchers that we see. Corey Kluber is back at 74K. He hasn't been good in 3 years. Maybe he steps up. Carrasco's got a nice matchup at Washington. Skubal, Green, a lot of young guys too. Give me a little rundown on pitching.
It's interesting. Like Gary was saying, even when you look at the last 2 nights, even the higher priced pitchers that did well, Scherzer at 10-2 got you to 20 points, which was fine, but there was much better value on that slate. And then last night, we were talking about Verlander's K-prop. It turned out Verlander was healthy. He was certainly fine.
Good. But
his 19 DraftKings points were fine for his price, but there was better value. And I think that's the same case today. You talked about Kluber at 7,400 there. I think you look at some of these teams that have been letting their pitchers go deep. Certainly Tampa Bay is not one of them, but Kyle Gibson, I think, got into the 7th inning yesterday. Philadelphia, Zach Eflin against the Oakland A's. Eflin's not an exciting name by any means, but the Oakland A's are a team that strikes out a lot, and we'll see about that there. So I think there's some guys here at the lower price range. You've got Bailey Ober in Minnesota. It's very cold there. The wind is blowing in, and that's the theme too, is many of these parks, it's cold all throughout the country right now. And we talked about this. I was at the Braves game last night, seeing those hard hit balls just die in the outfield. So I think that's going to be something that we want to keep in mind. Gary mentioned the game in Kansas City. It's not exactly warm, but there's a 22-mile-an-hour wind blowing out straight away to left center field. So I think for me, I'm going to be aligned with Gary here in that some of these higher priced pitchers just are not going to have the length, particularly Craig Counsell and Freddie Peralta. You see what he's doing with these guys. It's a 60 to 70, 75 pitch limit. And if they get in trouble, and these Brewer pitchers have been throwing a lot of pitches these last couple of games, they're only going to go 3-4 innings. And at 45% ownership, feel very much the same way about Peralta as I did about Max and JV the last couple of days, where I can fade them, get better value, get bigger bats, because there are some exciting stacks today. And I think that's the way my lineups are going to shake out.
All right, let's do it, DC. Can you just give me your pitcher pool and a couple of thoughts there on today's slate?
Yeah, a couple overall thoughts to the start of the season. I think JT brought up an important point where it does seem like One weird thing about baseball is you never know like which actual baseball they're going to roll out. Like a couple of years ago, we saw what people call like the rabbit ball, where, every guy with medium powers hitting 20, 25 home runs. Last year, it was like a mix. So far this year, we've seen it. If you've been watching the games, JT, you've been to the games, the ball is not flying, right? Like a couple nights ago, Gary Sanchez thought he hit a walk-off home run. He does a bat flip, gets caught on the warning track in left field. Looked like he got it all. You've seen it at the Braves games. You mentioned it, Holden. We've seen a ton of unders, right, across the league with the cold weather. And it's not like the most actionable thing, but I am a little hesitant to roster guys with limited kind of raw power, right? Because it's just hard for them to get it out, especially when it's cold. So that's an overarching theme. Obviously, these guys are all still making their first start. So trying to figure out who's going to actually get a chance to go deep into games has been pretty crucial to having success. And then we still have like a lot of really underpriced hitters, right? The two stud rookies, Bobby Witt, Julio Rodriguez, both sitting still at minimum salary. They haven't done much yet, but I'm pretty sure it's coming. And so, like, I have Freddie Peralta as kind of the number one guy, but it's not by a lot. We're not seeing these tournaments decided by pitching, really, right? The best pitchers are scoring 20, 25 fantasy points. You can get that from one bat. That's one home run and a double, something like that. So from a game theory perspective, I do think the best point per dollar pitchers are all cheaper, but the best point per dollar hitters are cheap too, right? So if you want to spend the salary somewhere, you either kind of leaving the value on the table at pitcher or leaving it on the table at hitter. You could make salaries leaving 3 or 4K if you wanted to. You can't do that in basketball, but baseball you certainly can. So just a couple overarching things there. Back to the pitchers. Personally, again, I do have Peralta number one, and because there's value, I think he's worth paying for, even if he's not a top point per dollar option at 10.2, just because I think he's got the best chance to put up the highest raw score. He did throw among the most innings of any pitcher in spring training, so he should be good to go. Obviously, he'll get a quick hook if he's not pitching well like anyone else right now, pretty much. But I do expect him to be good. Bailey Ober, I was pretty high on him last year. He's another guy that's fully stretched out this spring. He's got strikeouts in his game, pitching in Minnesota where the ball hasn't been flying. We've seen low scoring games there for the most part. He's interesting. I think Carrasco is okay. I do really like Corey Kluber. Got up to 5 innings in his last spring start. And listen, if the Rays sign you, right, if they want to bring you in as one of their pitchers, that's a big vote of confidence for me. So maybe we see Kluber, he'll probably get injured at some point pretty quickly, but I think until he does, I do expect him to pitch well, especially at home against Baltimore. So I like Kluber. And then another guy that you can't really expect more than 4 to 5 innings out of, but Michael Kopech for the White Sox, very, very high upside arm. And, only getting to go 4 or 5 innings isn't as big a deal when nobody's really going more than 5 or 6 anyway. So Kopech, I think, has got a chance to rack up strikeouts. He's super cheap, 5,600 on DraftKings. So yeah, that's kind of my pool there. Peralta, Ober, Carrasco, Kluber, and Michael Kopech. Those 5 are who I'm focused on today.
Ober, Carrasco. Okay, guys, let's Gary, give me your 3 or 4 pitchers in your core and real quick why. Or your pool, I should say.
Yeah, so I think my top guy is going to be somebody we're going to get at like 5% ownership today. He's 8,700. Tariq Truther. Dude has looked fantastic this spring. He's got like 13.5 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts, like a 1 point something ERA. I'm not scared of this White Sox lineup. Grandal's out of the lineup, make it a little easier, but Tim Anderson's back. But the bottom of that lineup is terrible. I like his over K prop here too, and I think he's going to crush on this slate. I'm not going to be on Ober or Carrasco or Marco Gonzalez. I do like Zach Eflin. I'm never a Corey Kluber guy. I'm basically going to be around 3 guys, and it's going to be Eflin, Skubal, and maybe some Kopech. And some Steven Matz. I do like Steven Matz.
Yeah, I like him a little bit too.
JT Hayes. So we got Ober, Kluber, and Carrasco for DC. I got Matz, Skubal, Kopech, Eflin for Gary. Give me your 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah. Eflin, Kluber. I like Kopech a little bit as well. I have a little bit of Steven Matz. And then Yeah, that's maybe Carrasco, just because, outside of Soto, Bell, Cruz, that Nationals lineup is not very good.
No, it's not. Real quick, Gary, can you guys raise your hand if you play FanDuel? Seriously, because
Yeah.
I need to know. All right, Gary, give me a FanDuel specific play today as far as pitchers go, buddy. And thank you for playing FanDuel.
I mean, it's Tariq Skubal for me. He's 8,100 over there. He's cheap.
Yeah.
I do like Zach Eflin at 8K. He's going to be more popular, but Skubal's definitely the tournament option for me over there.
Okay, very good. Skubal. Let me tell everybody what's going on here. First of all, we got a nice crowd. Sunday mornings, always a terrific crowd. Let's hit the like button, and JT Hayes is here. JT, usually I'll set it at 150. What kind of like number do you want to do? I'm going to let the elder statesman here make the decision.
What do we got? 250 watching?
Yeah.
I think that number is going to grow. Let's get to 140.
Okay, so 150 would be the number then, because I set it at 150. I thought you'd go higher, but we're going to go 150 today. Again, ginkgo biloba for aging brains. It's starting to work on mine too, JT Hayes. It's absolutely wonderful. The games that we're getting into
morning, and you're actually lucid as opposed to some of the later shows in the day. So
yeah, no. See, the problem in the morning is I'm hungover from the night before. The problem in the night is I'm gonna be hungover from the night coming up. Like and subscribe would be wonderful. Like button. Then in the bottom right hand corner, we're looking for 10,000 YouTube subscribers. It has gotten really big. So Run Pure Sports YouTube channel notifications let you know anytime we're coming on. We'll get to our members never win segment as well. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes because everybody seems to be winning here. It's amazing. And my boy JSU hit for 100K last night. What a stud. What an absolute stud. I was right about the Rangers Friday night. Damn straight, Uzi, I was right about the Rangers, man.
JSU didn't win 100K again, did he? Because it was 2 nights ago that he won that. Unless he did it again, which he could have. It wouldn't shock me at all with JSU.
Yeah, it's all the same thing to me. Anyways, JT, since Gary started with everything, I want to go to you with hitting now. With the hitters, and we'll go through every game. And if you don't have anything in this game, just say, I don't have anything in this game. Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, Jean Segura, JT Realmuto. There's a lot of power here for Philadelphia. Their implied run total, a little bit over 5 today. Oakland's offense has been absolute doo-doo. Thoughts on this one here? Well, you know what? They had a game. They came back at least. JT Hayes, what do you think about Oakland and Philly? And do you have a player or two?
I think you can pick out some of these Philly power bats. We're not going to be really worried about Oakland pitching this season. It is cold. The wind is blowing in 15 miles an hour. It is Sunday, so the bottom 4 in the Phillies lineup, I mean, good value. You want to pick one up. Maybe they could do something. But, yeah, I think full stack, a little bit difficult. I think you can get it today, but not my favorite spot, even though, Oakland's a disaster.
Oakland's a disaster. DC, rundown. Want a piece or two from this one?
Yeah, definitely. Not much on the Oakland side. That's going to be I think a theme for much of the year. So none of those bats really tempting me at all, even though I'm not the highest on Eflin in general. But there are a couple of Phillies that I like. Now the weather there is not super conducive to hitting. It's 50 degrees, kind of strong winds blowing in from left field. So I don't really want the right-handed bats against Dalton Jeffries, right? Because if you're trying to pull it out to left field, you got to go right through that wind. But in from left field, it's fine for me with guys like Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper who have massive power anyway. And, you pull it out to right field and it doesn't have nearly as big of an effect. Dalton Jeffries, very, very low strikeout rate. I think the lowest strikeout rate of any pitcher on this slate, and also has had really severe home run problems. He's pitched most of his career in the minor leagues at this point. So you're telling me a guy like Schwarber and Harper, where listen, these guys make contact, right? It's oftentimes doing damage. The way to get them out is to strike them out, but Jeffries doesn't have the stuff to do it. So I'll take Schwarber and Harper in that massive power all day. Two of my favorite spend ups, Harper, two of the more expensive bats on the slate, Harper 6,100, Schwarber 5,400. But man, I really like their chances to do some damage. Of course, Oakland doesn't have much in the bullpen either. So yeah, give me the lefties, Schwarber, Harper. I'll probably pass, frankly, on almost everybody else, but those are two of my favorite one-offs. And obviously you can pair them together as well if you want to.
Gary, please try and put your anti-Phillies bias away here and talk to me about the Philadelphia. I mean, come on, you're a Braves fan. You got to hate the Phillies. You want any of these power bats here? And is there maybe a deep dive on the A side?
Yeah, no Oakland for me. It's been their lineup is like a AAA, borderline high school lineup. They're putting out so no thank you on that side. But yeah, I'm in lockstep with DC here on the Philly side. Love the left-handed power here in Schwarber and Bryce. And that's probably about it for me in this game. I'm not going to stack it, but I'll have some one-offs of Schwarber and Harper for sure.
Okay, let's move on to our next game. Like button would be awesome. 119 watching. Let's get moving here. DC, I'm going to start with you on our next game. Baltimore at Tampa Bay. I have a hard time thinking Baltimore is going to do much offensively. They're struggling right now. I love Cedric Mullins, but I mean, that's a deep dive right there. On the Tampa Bay side, though, do you see any runs being put up today? And is there anyone that stands out to you? And your boy Wander Franco is up there hitting second. Any interest?
I do prefer him when he's swinging from the right side, a switch hitter.
Okay.
He's been much better from the right side. So I'll probably pass at 5,100. No Baltimore for me. Kluber is my favorite pitcher on this slate. So they're a full pass. But yeah, Tyler Wells, the Orioles starter, he's probably only going to go 3 or 4 innings. I actually kind of like him as a pitcher in general, but he's going to give up a lot of home runs. His big pitch is a fastball up in the zone that gets swings and misses and can, induce pop-ups and stuff, but when it gets hit, when it gets squared up, it's going a long way. So some of this power from Tampa looks good. I mean, most of their lineup I think is in play. Probably favorite bats would be Brandon Lau leading off 5,100, and then Josh Lowe. They spell their name the same. I can never remember which way to pronounce which one, but
Brandon
regardless,
Lau,
2,600 rookie bat. He's been impressive. So I like him too.
That's it.
Did you know the answer there, Holden?
Yeah, just Brandon Lau, and everyone else is a low.
Okay. I won't remember, but thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
I just can't. It just doesn't work. It doesn't register.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Gary, what do you think here? Nothing.
I mean, it's the same. I'm in lockstep with DC today so far. It's Brandon Lau, it's Josh Lau, or Lowe, whichever one you say.
You can't even remember 2 seconds later. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So yeah, 5.1 for Wander. I mean, he's insane talent, but like DC said, we prefer him from the right side of the plate. Just some one-offs here, and no Baltimore for me.
Okay, move on to our next game then. I'll remind you, like button, subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. After that, I got some members never win.
JT, you're not qualified to comment on that game. You're just
we're skipping JT. You know what the problem is? I can't remember where I'm starting, so maybe we should just start with Gary every time. What do you think, JT?
I think that's fair.
All right, thank you. Go, JT. Unless you don't want to talk about this game, we could just go faster.
Listen, not a lot of interest in this game. I do want to say to K. Felipe Burner, though, that we all love JT Real Muto, but he's not in the lineup today, dumbass. So that's why we're not talking about him. The Tampa Bay, definitely not going to full stack this team. You know that half these guys are at risk of being pinch hit once the bullpen comes in. So, yeah, you want to play the leadoff guy here, Brandon Lau, or his brother from another mother, Josh Lowe, then that's fine.
Brandon Lau and Josh Lowe. It's very easy. Gary, I'm coming back to you for the next game, okay? Here we go. Everybody's going to get a shot at this one. White Sox and Tigers. We got a little White Sox Tigers. Timmy Anderson, Robert, I should say. Jose Abreu completely sucks in April, and he's doing it once again on the Tigers side. Wondering if you want to target anybody against Kopech and then a whole bunch of bullpen for the Sox.
Yeah, I don't have much interest in this game for the bats. I mean, the White Sox, Kopech, he's an okay pitcher. He's a top prospect. I don't mind targeting him, but the bullpen behind him is pretty good. And I'm on Scooble today, so I'm not going to have any White Sox.
No White Sox.
Complete cross-off for me.
Beautiful. JT Hayes.
I think you can pick out one of these bats here. Andrew Vaughn hit a home run. He usually does pretty well against left-handed pitchers. Schoolball, I think this is going to get better as his career goes on. Maybe this is the year where when he has these big games, he's not going to give up 3 home runs as well, but he's shown that he'll give up some power here. So guys like him, maybe even Adam Engel if you wanted to, guys that are going to be low owned. But again, another cold weather, wind blowing in spot, not going to have a lot of it.
Not a lot of that spot. DC? Welcome
back.
back.
I know Gary's on Scooble. I get it. A high strikeout, high upside arm. That, it's cold in Detroit. If some of that hard contact that he tends to give up doesn't get out of the ballpark, those are easy outs potentially, and then you add in the strikeouts. So you can see the big game from Scooble. I'm not personally on it, but I do understand why. But that said, I think Scooble led the league in barrel rate allowed to right-handed hitters last year. And the White Sox have a lot of power from the right side. Obviously, that first five, Tim Anderson, Luis Robert, Abreu, Eloy, Andrew Vaughn, I think are all threats to take Scooble deep. Andrew Vaughn, I think, is actually my favorite of the bunch. Was very, very good against lefties last year. A little bit cheaper, can play him at first base or outfield. And, Scooble, like I said, home runs and can also be wild. So if he's not on his game, you could see this White Sox stack doing some serious work and getting into that Detroit bullpen early. So I get the Scooble play, but I also think there's definitely potential for the White Sox here. Vaughn, my favorite, but I do like, to some degree, all of that first five at the top of their lineup.
Okay. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Want to say hi to you. Oh, they're already blowing. 200 likes, guys. That's the new goal today. JT Hayes did not think very much of you. That's why he set it at 140. Look at him shaking his head, just like, please don't out me on this one. Good morning to Keg. I did not miss you on the NASCAR show yesterday, but it's wonderful to always see you, my friend. Uncle T, the playbook is done. Hi, Uncle T. Alex, hi. McLongron, hi. Gary, the next game that we're getting into would be Cincinnati and Atlanta. I'm not even going to name off. You just go with it, Braves homer. Go with it.
Yeah, the Braves are always in play for me. They're going to be in play a lot more in a few weeks when Ronald Acuna, the GOAT, gets back in the lineup. Should be the first week of May. We've played them a lot the last couple of days. They've kind of let us down a little bit. I like them here. I think they're a solid offense. Not my favorite on the slate, but any one of these guys. I'm not going to play Alex Dickerson. He's 2,200 hit. I don't like that guy. I'm not playing him. I would just stick with the top five guys here. And call it a day, and no Cincinnati for me. The Atlanta Pen is just probably the best in baseball, so I'm going to stay away.
JT Hayes, you were hanging out at a Braves game. You saw those fly balls die at the warning track, but it's happening just about everywhere right now. Talk to me. What do we like from the Reds and the Braves in Atlanta?
Yeah, it is warmer today. It's going to get close to 70. So a lot different from the last two nights where it was in the high 40s, right around 50. A little wind out to left field, but yeah, Cincinnati's pen has actually looked decent in this series. I don't know, they did pick up Hunter Strickland, so it's a little bit of a spot where I think I prefer other spots here. Maybe I'll throw in one Brave stack just because, when they do get hot and they do start hitting, they have as good a chance as any other team to put up 10 runs or more.
DC, can I interest you in any plays from either team?
Yeah, I do like the Braves here. They, like Gary said, they have been hurtful these first few games, but I really don't expect that to continue for too long. So I'll be back on the Braves. Don't want to miss out. Interesting matchup today. This rookie Hunter Green. You're going to see him throwing 100, 101 mile per hour fastballs up there. Super, super talented kid, but this is his MLB debut. He did get hit pretty hard by left-handed bats in the minor leagues. A lot of home runs, especially from the left side allowed. And from what I've seen, it's like a really straight fastball, right? Like he's gassing it up there, but especially Matt Olson, right? If he times one of those up, like it coming in fast, but it can go out in a hurry too. So Matt Olson, my favorite. I do also like Eddie Rosario. Austin Riley has looked maybe the best of any Brave. Ozuna, Albies. All these guys have got to be in play. So yeah, I'll be backing in on the Braves. Olson is my favorite of the bunch though. And I think the best one-off pretty clearly of any Brave in this lineup.
All right. Very good. Time now to do our members never win, because members do seem to always win. And we're making a little joke about it here when we say they aren't winning. Here's the members that have won. And this doesn't even seem to include all of our winners from MLB on Thursday and Friday. I think, we do have the man from the NBA, but here we go. Members never win. NASCAR yesterday, very profitable. Matt Cox. Oh, I see what you did there, buddy. $30,000 in the NASCAR. JT Hayes, you see what he did there? MACOX, McCox. You see that? Yeah, brilliant guy.
That's not the way my brain works, but
Yeah.
go ahead, Holden.
Clyon's 1975, 100K hit in the National Basketball Association. Big T 146K in PGA. JSU hit for 100K a couple of nights ago in baseball. Birdie Monster 220K in the PGA, and the man won $1 million in the National Basketball Association. Time to get on to our next game here. That would be the Mets and the Nationals. No Nationals lineup, guys. Maybe you found one. I have not. They've scored 4 runs in the first 3 games. Gary, it's a really bad Nationals lineup outside of Juan Soto, it seems like. And for the Mets, they've got some big bats. Talk to me here. What do you want to do? And we only like Nelson Cruz against the lefty, right?
Yeah, Nelson Cruz has looked lost up there too at the plate so far this year. Yeah, I mean, I saw a stat yesterday, 6 through 9 or 5 through 9 of this lineup was like 2 for 29 with like 19 strikeouts or something crazy to start the year. They're just awful outside of 2 or 3 bats. No Washington for me. I doubt I'll roster any. I mean, so the one guy I would obviously roster is Juan Soto. Juan Soto and Keibert Ruiz. I think Ruiz is going to be a stud. 3,600 is a little too cheap for him, but those two, definitely not core pieces. And yeah, the Mets have kind of teed up. I mean, they've done pretty well the last couple games here. Don't mind them as a stack, but not my favorite.
Okay, JT Hayes, Mets, Nats.
I do not love it's another weather spot here. However, 6 lefties in this lineup against Eric Fede, who historically has struggled mightily to the left side of the plate. So especially with Robinson Cano sitting at number 3 hole at 2.4 on DraftKings. Yeah, he's older and whatever, but Fede gives up a ton of hard contact to left-handed hitters. So I'll definitely have some of these Mets bats in some lineups just because of how bad Fede can be.
Eric Fede. Yes. You just keep saying Fede, buddy.
Sure.
You just keep saying Fede.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. DC, do you like these lefties here for the Mets?
You got to. I mean, Fede just not really a major league caliber starting pitcher. I think he's got like every year of his career, he's been at like 1.5, 1.6 home runs per 9. And even more of those are given up to lefties. The Mets are playing really well. Nothing in the bullpen whatsoever for the Nationals after Eric Fede. So you get the full 9 at bats. Weather's not ideal, but 50 degrees and kind of crosswinds out to right field. Not bad for these lefties, right? So Lindor, Robinson Cano, super cheap, and he looks, at least for now, like he's hitting. Obviously, you've got Alonso, Dominic Smith even. So, yeah, I do like these Mets quite a bit. I think they might go a little bit overlooked, but they're going to have 9 innings of good matchups no matter who Nationals, they're starting a bad pitcher, and it's going to be nothing but trash out of the bullpen too. So I do really like the Mets here.
Stick a fork in them. Okay. We'll keep rolling with these early slate games. And our next one to get to would be Texas at Toronto. And this Texas lineup is much improved from last year. We'll see if they could step up, take care of business today. But Texas and Toronto, Gary, coming into the year, we look at Toronto's offense. We say maybe they're the best in baseball. 5.6 is their implied run total today. And you got guys like Bo Bichette, little Vladdy Daddy. I mean, here we go. Vlad Guerrero Jr. Here's the lineup. Let's get to the lineup, see if all these guys are in there. Okay. So we got Springer, Bichette, Vlad, Teoscar, Gurriel, Chapman's hitting 6, Tapia, Espinal, Donnie Johnson, who I always love to play. Run this down here, Gary. The Blue Jays always looking sexy against Spencer Howard. Do we want to run a little Rangers action out there against Hyun-Jin Ryu? Or is it a full fade?
Yeah, so Ryu is definitely not somebody that I normally target. He induces a lot of ground balls. Yeah, I mean, I like the Texas offense as a whole for the year. I'm going to be playing them a lot, but I'm not going to be playing them in this spot. And yeah, Toronto's probably my favorite stack of the day. They're going to be a little bit chalkier. I mean, they have the highest implied run total on the slate. But it's just hard to get away from these guys. I mean, they just turn over the lineup so easily. And yeah, Toronto. I like Toronto. I mean, everybody. I mean, maybe not Tapia or Espinal, but I do like Danny Jansen as a cheaper option for catcher. Teoscar is always a beast. I mean, it's a right-handed heavy lineup against the righty, but I'm not really too worried about that. I like Bichette always. Let me get Bo and Teoscar as my top 2 guys.
Okay. You'll roll out Vladdy just because you got to in a Toronto stack?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. JT Hayes, either side here?
Both
Sides.
I actually like Texas a lot today against Ryu. I think Ryu's overpriced here. He can give up home runs, and this Texas team is not last year's Texas team. So Semien at the top, Garver, Adolis, I always love him. Andy Ibanez can pop one out. I like Nick Solak in the 6 hole. Jonah Heim, we played him quite a bit last year as a cheap catcher, 3.2K now. I like this spot a lot for Texas, and I like the Blue Jays, same reasoning where I think they'll go to work on Spencer Howard. So I like this game quite a bit.
Okay. DC.
Yeah, similar thoughts. I think you can go to either side. Blue Jays is that the highest team total on the board? I think so for the Jays. Spencer Howard just hasn't shown much so far. He's kind of a top prospect, but he's been hit pretty hard at the big league level. And, you just, if you're betting on the Blue Jays most of the time, it's going to be a good way to go as long as this lineup stays healthy. They're just going to put up a ton of runs. It's not going to be every night, but they're always a good team to go to. If you can afford the stack, you certainly can today. There's reasonable, cheap pitchers. You're not sacrificing much, fading the top end of pitching. So some of these expensive stacks certainly come into play, Blue Jays included. I don't mind picking out a bat or two from the Rangers, specifically Mitch Garver, I think is the second best catcher, was a hero for us a couple nights ago. But Ryu, I don't use him often. Well, again, pretty good ground ball rate, but the strikeouts aren't really there. But he does usually do a pretty good job of keeping the other team in check, rarely gets blown up. So, yeah, Mitch Garver, Adolis Garcia, I think they're fine. But overall, not super high in the Rangers here.
Okay. Like button. Let's get to 200 here. We got 400 watching. DC Sunday mornings, baby. It's just a huge show. They love it. They come in. Yeah. They want all the information. They have the beautiful JT Hayes. They have the wonderful internet connection from Gary. They have your wonderful internet connection. They just got to suffer through me. And it seems like they're doing that this morning. So congratulations, everybody. We'll continue rolling down. We already did our pitchers. So if you missed that, go back to the beginning of the video. We'll be done well before first pitch of the later games here. And got a little Cleveland, Kansas City action today. The Royals and the Tribe. Let me see here. We had some nice weather in this one, right? Do we like that? Yeah, because the winds are blowing out. That's good. It's not going to be too bad. Upper 60s, low 70s during the game, Gary. The Guardians and the Royals with cheese. What do you think here? Is it just let's go to the big guys, Ramirez, Salvi, or are there a couple of gems we can dig up?
Yeah, I like both sides of this game. For Cleveland, you got Stephen Kwan at the top of the lineup. He's one of their top prospects. He's 2K, he's stone minimum on DraftKings. Miles Straw just signed an extension with them. I mean, he's Miles Straw, but I like stacking up both sides of the game. Jose Ramirez is probably my top play in the game. But yeah, I love KC here, and on the other side, or love Cleveland here. And on the KC side, I mean, man, Bobby Witt, 2,100. Sign me up. He's going to be popular. Whit Merrifield's only 4,300. I mean, he was pushing 6K last year. Salvi 4.6, Santana even at 3.1. I like this whole lineup. Hunter Dozier at 2.4. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can save some salary with this team, and I like stacking up this game.
JT Hayes. So we got a guy that likes both sides of this thing. Are you on both sides of this thing?
Yeah, I think you looking at the game environments today, this one just stands out. It's standing out on all the projections. 22-mile-an-hour wind in a stadium that we don't really target unless the weather is like this. And this is the kind of day where you target it. Gary mentioned Stephen Kwan. We were talking about him the week before opening day in Discord. He's one of the guys that both within the Guardians organization and also within baseball, people are high on this kid. High contact hitter, doesn't strike out a lot, draws a lot of walks, and he's got some speed as well. So I think that for 2K, he's a guy, if you wanted to fit in a higher price pitcher pairing, then he's one of the guys that is going to help you do that. And I will be having both of these teams in a bunch of lineups today.
Okay. DC, Guardians, Royals. We got a lefty and Bubik on the mound against Cal Quantrill. Why don't you start with Stephen Kwan? Again, okay prospect, like JT said, some speed, very, very little on the power, but he is hitting right ahead of Jose Ramirez and Reyes.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a very effective player for the Guardians, but not necessarily the best DFS play in the world, right? Like his skills just don't translate that well to DFS production, especially upside production. He's a really high on base percentage guy, but even for a 2K player in tournaments, not really trying to get those 2 points on a walk. The power is not really there, especially in a bigger park. So he's a fine play, but I don't think I'll use him today. I kind of like the heart of this Cleveland lineup is where I would look. Jose Ramirez, Franmil Reyes, Ahmed Rosario, those three guys, especially Ramirez and Reyes, I think the guys that you want. Again, like we said, wind's blowing out to left field. They both swing from the right side against the lefty. You could see some bombs out of either of those guys. Miles Straw, not a guy I'm going to take very often, just no power. And it's just, he's got to get like 3 or 4 hits to get there. So yeah, give me the heart of the Guardians lineup. And then, yeah, I'm with Gary, pretty much that whole Royals lineup, especially the top 7, I guess. I'm not going to play Michael Taylor or Nicky Lopez, but that top of the Royals lineup looks really good. And like we said, the hitting environments, it's all relative, right? It's all about comparing this hitting environment to the other one. So if it's the middle of summer, we wouldn't be talking about such a great place to hit in Kansas City. But right now, when most of the league is playing in 45 degrees, 50 degrees, makes a big difference to be 70, 75 and strong winds blowing out to left field. So I think this is a game that you do want to attack for offense on both sides for sure.
You're big on Bobby Witt Jr. today, aren't you?
Of course, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you love yourself some Bobby Witt Jr. Why not? It's an absolute stud. Like button, be great. Let's get to 200. 433 watching right now. This will be our biggest baseball crowd yet. Absolutely love it. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a great day. Our first real big full slate here going through, and we'll have some, we got the night game tonight. Everything's good. Yeah, you're right, Bart. Sundays with me. How could it get any better? You know how it get better? When you got Gary and JT and DC sitting here just spewing out the knowledge. And look at JT. He's just disgusted right now. He doesn't like hearing compliments about himself, but once in a while I'll give him one. The rest of the time he's a dog. Anyways, yeah. Did you hear me? Did you hear me say that? You're going to call me the C word? Another word. Call me the C word? I'm trying to get called the C word this morning.
It's all right.
He's going to hold back. Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
JT's taking the high road.
I comply when asked. I comply. Huh? No, go ahead.
Well, maybe that's a little reverse psychology on your ass. It's always good to see you, JT Hayes. Just a couple more games left. So Minnesota, Seattle, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Milwaukee and the Cubs. Actually, Milwaukee and the Cubs has something fun to talk about. But Seattle, Minnesota is where we are going to go next. Byron Buxton. I mean, come on, guys. But the Twins just can't keep blowing these games. Absolutely ridiculous. You guys were talking about Ober, how you liked Ober. So I just wonder, Gary, how you attack this game, or is it a full fade at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I like Minnesota quite a bit here. I'm a Buxton guy. I was hoping that the Braves would sign him, find some money this offseason, pair him with Acuna and just dominate the league. Didn't happen. But yeah, I like the signing of Correa, Polanco. I like to sign up quite a bit, but no Seattle for me. They just haven't shown me anything yet. I probably will rarely play Seattle this year, outside of maybe Julio Rodriguez, who's their stud prospect. He's still min price, but mainly just Minnesota for me here.
JT Hayes.
I'll just say, if Steve Boynton wasn't hungover and sleeping somewhere in a gutter in Chicago, he'd be very upset to hear that Gary is not interested in playing Seattle a lot this season. But I'll say this before I even get to this game: 445 people watching and 170 likes. We got up on Sunday morning, unlike Steve Boynton, who we love. But we got up and we're here and we're talking. We're going to put up cores, and that's a disgusting number. It's a disgusting ratio. Now we have to get to 225. Because you've completely insulted us. So 225 is the number now to get the plays. This game, again, another coldish weather spot, 55, maybe gets to 60 today, but a 15, 16 mile an hour wind blowing straight towards home plate. I do like some of these power bats for Minnesota, like Gary talked about. And I like Ober, so I'm probably not going to have a ton of Seattle, if any at all.
Okay. DC, where do you want to go here? We got a little value with our boy Bobby Witt Jr. We could plug him in for 2,100. Maybe you want to get sexy in this game or just completely fade because these are your boys. Your boys are out there.
Yeah. I do like the twin side of this one, specifically the right-handed power, specifically Byron Buxton. I mean, the dude, like last year, you know, he's always hurt, but man, he was like the best hitter in the league last year when he was healthy. Hit like 4 or 5 home runs, was the best hitter in spring, and he's been one of the best hitters in the couple games that we've seen so far. He's just a monster right now until he, you know, crashes into a wall or something and goes down. But right now, man, he's just an absolute beast. Gets a soft tossing lefty in Marco Gonzalez. And, you know, I know it's not the best hitting environment in Minnesota, but Buxton has massive power. And if he gets a hold of one, it's going out. So I do really like Buxton. I like Correa backing him up. Even Polanco, that kind of top 3 there, if you want to go to it, could see them doing some damage. And then, yeah, Ober, yeah, I did just actually put him in my cores. So he is a good strikeout pitcher. He's fully stretched out. And his kind of Achilles heel as a pitcher is he's going to give up a lot of home runs. Another guy that attacks the top of the zone with a lot of fastballs. But this Twins defense is outstanding. Behind him, Byron Buxton, I think the best defensive center fielder in baseball. Correa and Polanco up the middle are outstanding. And on a cold day with the wind blowing in from center field, and you've got the best center fielder, it's going to be hard to leave the yard for these Mariners guys. So you could see a lot of kind of harmless fly balls given up on contact from Ober. And I think he'll get strikeouts too. Plenty of strikeouts to be had against this Mariners lineup. So I think Ober's got a chance to be the top scoring pitcher today. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see him strike out 6 or 7 guys, go fairly deep into this game. So he's been growing on me kind of as the slate has developed and getting lineups and all that. So yeah, Ober, I think my SP2 behind Kluber, and then give me some of this right-handed power from the Twins as well.
Right-handed power from the Twins. Let's go. JT Hayes threatened you. So you better make it happen or he's going to pop out of your screen and start choking you to death. That is my official threat this morning on a Sunday. Gary.
I just said, you can't be insulting us. And I agree completely with DC. Buxton's going to be great until that inevitable hamstring injury.
Oh, come on. And just today he's going to get a hamstring injury?
Not today.
Today?
No, not today. Not today.
I mean, you want to talk about shitty mojo.
As long as he leaves the yard a couple times beforehand, we're good.
It probably a lot, yeah.
Probably a lot. Please, Byron Buxton, please stay healthy and don't listen to JT Hayes. Gary, Cardinals, Pirates. Yeah, that's my analysis of this game. I
mean, I love the Cardinals here. They've been looking pretty good here to start the year. I mean, it's Pittsburgh. I mean, they have a horrible bullpen. Their pitching has been pretty bad. And it's my former, Braves guy, Bryce Wilson, who's been terrible this spring as usual. I like this as a late stack, late slate hammer. I love basically the top 4, maybe some DeJong in there. I like Molina as a catcher option as well. But yeah, definitely a full fade on the Pittsburgh side.
Tyler O'Neill, buddy. That dude Tyler, like a badass.
Yeah, he's locked into the plate right now.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Love some Cardinals.
DC, my analysis was Gary was like, we're gonna skip JT Hayes on this because I already said your name first. Hopefully I remember to come back to him. DC, Tyler O'Neill, any Cardinals?
Yeah, you got to like the Cardinals here. Wilson, I kind of thought he was going to be decent for the Braves, but that's not happened. He's been frankly pretty awful every chance that he's gotten in Atlanta. I don't think Pittsburgh is the team that's going to fix him, right? Like, when's the last time a pitcher's even been any good out of Pittsburgh? You just never even see it. And now you throw in a guy that's struggled, for a team like Atlanta, who has done pretty good at developing their pitching prospects outside of Wilson, who couldn't make it. Now he's with the Pirates. Like Gary said, been bad against in spring. Another game that's pretty good hitting weather, really similar weather to Kansas City, where you've got pretty warm, at least for this time of year, and winds out to left field. And the Cardinals have the power to take advantage of it. I think Tyler O'Neill, the number 1 guy, but Goldschmidt, Arenado, Dylan Carlson has looked good to start the season. And then, of course, you've just got absolutely nobody behind Bryce Wilson in that Pirates bullpen. So easy to see the Cardinals doing some serious damage. The top 4 are my favorites, but even Paul DeJong, coming off a horrible year, has looked good so far. this year. Harrison Bader at the bottom of the lineup is a power speed threat. So a lot of bats here that you can go to. And then, yeah, Steven Matz, I think, is fine. I mean, this Pirates team, as long as you throw strikes, you got a pretty good chance to find success because there's just not much in that lineup to speak of. So I really like the Cardinals to win this game and maybe hit that Cardinals minus 1.5 too. I could see this being like a 8-1 type affair.
So JT Hayes, yes, we know Tyler O'Neill might end up being an MVP candidate, and he's going up against Bryce Wilson and the rest of those Pirates who are not too worried of. JT Hayes, can you go with some Cardinals today, or will you go with some Cardinals today?
Yeah. It's again, one of probably the second, third best hitting weather spot here. Looks like a pretty strong wind out to left field. And, the Braves have become, I think, one of those organizations where when they let a player go, it's not a good sign for that player. And that's what happened here with Bryce Wilson. So definitely will have some of the Cardinals. And I just, Pittsburgh, not sure if they're rebuilding or just kind of an organization that's there so that the other organizations can have teams to play against at this point.
Okay. We got one more game left. So JT, why don't you threaten our viewers and subscribers because they love that?
It's not a threat. It's a firm talk about expectations. We showed up. We answered the bell. We're here. And 426 people watching, just not deciding to use their one little digit to hit the like and subscribe button. And we are 28 away from you guys getting tasty plays, or if you're not a member, you get nothing.
No, you're going to get my play. So that's all you'll get.
Well,
and you don't want that.
Hey, those plays have been good.
The Texas Rangers have been good.
I was going to say, if you're not motivated to hit that like button, the threat of getting Holden's plays is
only
play. Got to be motivating some people.
Only play, DC.
Like. You don't want Holden's plays. Let's go. Let's get some winners today.
No, you don't want my plays. You don't want my plays here. No. But you're going to be stuck on my plays.
Yes.
You'll get your asses moving. I always love JT Hayes. Just JT, you should start doing cameos or just yelling at people and calling them cunts. I think that would be great.
You can't say that word. I'm gonna hold on. I gotta text somebody and just report you now.
I know. Can we hit the dump button, Simon? My bad.
We almost got to the 10K subscribers, and Holden got our
I was baiting you into trying to call me one, and you didn't. And then I forgot it's a free show. Sorry, Simon. I'm gonna hear about this once the thing's over with JT.
You are.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang my head now. I think you just said something to me too, and I didn't hear it. Anywho, we got one more game to go. Huh? Yes, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Little button in the right-hand corner, bottom in the right-hand corner, sideways triangle with a beautiful red square surrounding it. And Gary, Milwaukee and Chicago. For real quick, can we just talk about what happened yesterday with Andrew McCutchen? Come on. He's talking about being old school now. It's so funny because Andrew McCutchen does not seem old school, but they threw him a strike on a slider, then come back and they hit him. It's just disgusting, Gary. Disgusting behavior. Almost as abhorrent as mine moments ago.
I mean, this Milwaukee lineup is disgusting. I mean, it's been terrible. I mean, sorry, title, but I will not roster the Milwaukee Brewers all season. I can confidently say that. If you see a Milwaukee Brewer in my lineup, I don't know. I'll do something. It's an open-ended bet.
We're on like day 3, and you're completely swearing off the team. That's a
He is.
I will not roster. If Milwaukee beats me on a slate, they beat me. It's fine. I'll take it. I'll take my lump, move on. And I kind of feel the same way about the Cubs. So, no thank you for this game.
Okay, JT Hayes.
I love this game. Just kidding.
You had me.
No, I'm not going to say I'm not going to roster them all season long. That is, I think, Gary, you got to go like a DC route. And if we see a Brewer in your lineup, the head gets shaved. I mean, I think that's fair, DC. What do you think?
Sounds fair to me. He seems pretty confident. So, yeah.
I'm in.
It's just, again, cold weather, kind of a sideways wind, 2 pitchers who, in the case of Peralta, I think is quite good and can be quite good. I just, think he's higher priced today than I would like to pay, given what Council will normally have as a leash for these guys early in the season. And I'm definitely not paying $9.9K for Marcus Stroman. Agree that the Brewers lineup has a lot of strikeouts in it, but little bit too high for me. So I don't think I'll have anything in this game.
Yeah, Stroman, Peralta, DC. I don't want to attack this. Is there somebody you can get kind of crazy on? You want to play some Suzuki, just one-off Suzuki, and hope he hits a 600-foot home run? You don't get extra points for length, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing
on baseball.
Any bats here. Or yeah, I do like Peralta. Just like if you're stacking a cheaper team, right, and you've got the money to spend, then I have no problem clicking his name. He's not the first guy in. I'm not building around him, but again, if you do have a cheaper stack, or you want to play Julio Rodriguez and Bobby Witt, who are min price, and you've just got the salary, then I think Peralta a good way to go. And I'll jump on the Gary train. If you find Marcus Stroman in my lineup at any time this year, then whatever's Gary's doing to pay off his bet, I'll do the same. No Marcus Stroman for DC.
Did we get to the number of likes that you need, JT?
Yeah, I mean they responded 235.
Yeah,
so we got over.
The threat of
as
Holden's
the guys in
play
chat
was what
said,
pushed
there
it
will
over
be
the
no
top.
repeat performance as Employee of the Month at RPS. I'm shaking my boots right now. I don't like screwing up like that, JT Hayes. But you know what? What am I going to do? I got one plaque, and maybe I'll just try better the next month.
I mean, you do 100 things well, and then you have that one moment.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's the one moment overshadows
the meltdown.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not talking about you because you don't really do a lot of things well, but other people, they do 100 things well. And then it's just that one thing. And now you find yourself in that boat. And you're on mute. I love it. Oh, right three.
So anyways, I didn't even mute myself on purpose. At least we don't have that beep beep from the premium show on Friday or Thursday. That was good. So anyways, here's what you get at RPS before we get out of here, because we got the plays of the day coming up. You made JT Hayes happy and everything's great. Before that, we got playbook. Uncle T did the playbook today. I'm sure it's wonderful. He goes through every single game. Our insiders, our analysts go through every single game. They give you the pool of pitchers. They break down every single game written, and that's wonderful. You get the core plays, of course. DCs are up. Gary's got his. JT Hayes, maybe he'll stroll around and decide to put a core up. Who knows with JT Hayes? What are you doing today, JT Hayes?
Core is going to go up. Core is going to go up.
Okay, core's going to go up. You have time to do that?
Yep.
Okay. And then the other thing is NBA playoffs are coming up, and I don't know how many NBA baseball fans there are together. It's usually kind of separated a little bit, but I know there's a few of us. And last year, as far as the NBA goes, that might have been the most profitable month or two ever, because the Showdown was killing it. You get the Showdown site with the rest of the RPS sites. So you get that. Just a lot of great stuff. NBA, full slate, Showdown, MMA is killing it. We got golf. Our golf team is just spectacular. Tennis, DC, MMA. You do MMA. Am I missing anything else here? What else? Every freaking sport.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Fun UFC card last night. Got the Masters today. All good stuff for sure.
Okay. All right, let's get into your plays of the day. Gary, what are we calling your plays of the day?
I think it's still the Braves homer play of the day.
And you'll just remind me every single week. Braves homer play of the day.
Yeah, I'm going with my boy Tariq Skubal. He's going to be the highest scoring pitcher on the slate.
Tariq Skubal, highest scoring pitcher on the slate. Okay. JT Hayes, again. What are we calling yours these days?
I believe it's the Eiffel Tower play of the day.
Still? You haven't come up with anything better after all this time? No one likes France.
There are plenty of people who love France.
Who?
Do not be any more offensive.
Name one. Gary, do you love France? Gary, do you love France?
I've never been.
So exactly. DC, do you like France?
No.
CJT Hayes, no one likes France. I mean,
I've been to France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've never said a kind word about it, though.
I always say kind words about it.
You've never said anything. But anyways, your Eiffel Tower play of the day. Ooh.
Very hurtful. Very hurtful, Holden.
That's what I'm trying for.
In fact, I'm not going to do it. But the Mets have been the chalk the first 2-3 days of the season. Hasn't really worked out that well. You're now going to get a pretty significant discount on them against Eric Fetty. Thank you, Holden, for that beautiful pronunciation.
Yes, Fetty.
And I think they're going to put up 10 runs today. So give me the Mets, my primary stack.
Okay. All right. DC, Mom's Basement play of the day. Can't forget that one.
JT, don't you have to choose a specific bat? You can't choose a whole team for the play of the day.
Who cares?
But JT does what he pleases, so that's cool. I'll make up for it and give 2 plays. It's all good. So one pitcher, Bailey Ober, gonna shove on the Seattle Mariners. I think at somewhat low ownership as well, like his chances for success. And then for a hitter, I will go with Kyle Schwarber. Gonna go deep in his first at bat, about a 500-foot bomb straight away center.
It took me a while to figure out who my guy was, but it doesn't matter because I got to get Donnie Johnson out there at least one time in the first week of the season. It doesn't matter if the matchup's good or not. If I'm stacking Toronto, I got to throw Donnie Johnson in there because he's really cheap. Danny Jansen. I screwed up. I'm not going to be back-to-back employee of the month, play of the day. So good luck coming up with that graphic, Simon. That'll be wonderful. If you bet baseball, check out the bet side. I'm going to go run over there with JJ and Joey work. We're going to come up with some wonderful bets for all of you people. It's been a very good start for just about everybody. So let's keep that up on the bet side. It's been a good start on the DFS side too, especially with all these winners coming up. Are you a Mets fan again? K Fleek Burner wants to know, JT Hayes.
No, I think what we're going to be doing this season is a lot of playing the team that's playing the Nationals, and that is really all that's about today. I still think the Mets are a hideously run franchise, and we're going to find and see that throughout the rest of the season.
Okay, very good. Yes, Keg, I did win Employee of the Month. It was a tough competition. I think the only reason I won it though is because I have a family member that's sick. That's honest to God the only reason why I got it from K Fleek. It had nothing to do with my performance.
I just have to mention too, Alex has been spamming chat saying that Clint Frazier is going to hit a home run. So Thank you, Alex. We saw the first 97 messages. Thank you for joining and watching and spending the morning with us. DC, you think Clint Frazier is going to hit a home run today?
No, I don't. But my thoughts are more of, is this employee of the month thing real? Because man,
it's
didn't
real.
Even know.
It's
it
real.
might be a while before DC gets a employee of the month plaque in the mail. But,
you're not going to get one. This is my plaque, by the way. I wrote on the back of it today, but this is what K Fleek gave me. He gave me Holden Employee of the Month.
Yeah.
And then I ripped it and I had to write my notes in the back today. So sorry, K Fleek, but I told you not to give it to me.
It's a thought that counts.
Yeah, it is. No, it's not. He doesn't care. He's probably making fun of me with it. Anyways, we're going to get out of here for Gary and DC, JT Hayes. Simon, get us out of here.